somebody puts in a live round. Who in the hell? How does that accidentally happen? Let me read that one more time. The top of this right here. A live single round was accidentally fired on the set by the principal actor. How does that even happen? The thing that blows my mind is a live single round was accidentally fired. How was it accidentally even put in the gun in the first place?
Pascal.
Alec Baldwin killed a camerawoman. Kills a director of photography on the set of a movie called Rust with a prop gun, y'all. Killed the DP and wounded the director of this movie on the set. This is wild. David, what's a guam?
All right, so like you said, this is a crazy one. I just sent you a video that we can start off with over private chat.
You know what? Let's do that. Instead of you going into it, let's just play this video. Let me just pull it up really quick. Let me get it really quick, and we'll do that because I was gonna pull up. I thought maybe I was trying to like have you pulling up, and then you know what I'm saying. But talk about the article, and then I got the video. You know what I'm saying. But it's all good. I got this. Don't worry. We're gonna do this first, and then we'll go into the article later. Okay. So give me 2 seconds. I'm just playing, man. Glad to have you on though, man. Real talk.
It's good to be here.
Yeah. Whatever, man. Anyway, here's the video. Let's take a look at this, y'all. Shall we? Hold up. Damn, this thing is losing its mind. Hold up. Blammo. All right, let's take a look. Like I said, Alec Baldwin fired a prop gun that killed the DP of this movie and injured the director of the movie as well. This is crazy. Let's take a look.
Updating our breaking news right now, we're learning more about a deadly accident on a movie set in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Moments ago, we learned actor Alec Baldwin fired the prop gun that killed one person and injured another. The victims, crew members, are on the Netflix Western film Rust. 42-year-old director of photography Halyna Hutchins was rushed to the helicopter and then taken to a local trauma center where she died from her injuries. 48-year-old director Joel Souza was also injured in the accident. The movie starring Baldwin and Frances Fisher had just begun filming at the Bonanza Creek Ranch. Baldwin actually shared a photo from the set of Rust earlier today while in costume. Production has been stopped for the time being.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown.
So what's crazy is that this whole thing, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get the photo of him. There it is. What's crazy to me is how this whole thing makes me think of The Crow and Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son, that died on the set of The Crow. And also, what's crazy to me is that movie still went out. That movie still was put out, right? But this is the question. Ignore Me just said, and it's a very good question. How can this even happen? Even to this day. Now, it was a freak accident with Brandon Lee. Still, even then, you wonder, how does that even happen, right?
There are a lot of rumors about that one, actually.
Hella a lot of rumors with one for sure. But there was something that was said. I'm probably going to have to look for that one, where they explained how the prop gun was loaded wrong, and no matter what, there's still when you shoot the gun, right, there is something that still comes out to give off that flare, right? Something about like there was a piece, like when it came to Brandon Lee's death, there was like a piece still lodged in the gun. So when they shot the gun, it projected this piece that was still lodged in the gun like it was a bullet. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's what killed him, right? Like it's supposed to just go and that's it. It's supposed to make a loud bang and all that stuff, right? But nothing, it's not supposed to kill anyone. It's shooting blanks, right? But apparently, like the cartridge was lodged in the gun. Like a cartridge of the blank was lodged in the gun. And then they shot another round in that gun. And that lodged cartridge got pushed out and killed Brandon Lee. Now, that's the theory. So in my mind, I keep thinking, what if this is what happened here too, that the props coordinator, the stunt coordinator, any person that was involved with handling the weapons did not clearly clear those guns after they were used. You see what I'm saying? Because you're using them, especially if it's a Western. It looks like he's dressed up in a Western type of thing. I'm sure there's a lot of bang bang shoot 'em up type stuff. It's one of those kind of movies. I'm sure you're using that gun a lot of times. You're firing it off. Maybe somebody made a mistake and did not clear out the cartridge. Things like that has happened. It's happened before, allegedly, when it came to Brandon Lee. So we don't know right now. I mean, as far as I know, it's not a real bullet. We don't know if it's a bullet or not. But who would do that, right? How would this kind of thing happen when they take this stuff so seriously? I mean, I've been on sets countless times where they'll sit there and go, there's weapons on the set, right? They'll explain to everybody, like here's the weapon, it's here, they'll open it up, show everybody that it's an empty gun, all that stuff, before they hand it to the actor and say action, right? Or they say there is a live round, there is a live, this is an act. They say, I forgot what the terminology is, but they'll sit there and say there is a gun on set and it has blanks. We're just letting you guys know, so on and so forth. How was the DP in the shot? How in the way of the shot? How was the DP and the director in the same angle of the shot? You see what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around this whole situation, and it's terrifying to think that Alec Baldwin, doesn't matter if you like him or not, it's still a terrible thing for to happen to an actor on a set where you're thinking everything is fine, and then suddenly now, bang, you've just taken out a young cinematographer. That's terrible, y'all. David, I mean, do we have any more on this story at all?
There's a few details going on, but for the most part, that does really cover everything that was known. So they're still investigating, as you pointed out. But like you said, I'll jump back a little bit.
Sure.
So basically, what we've seen before, and this was, like you said, with Brandon Lee, that this has happened before, and this has been a problem a few times, though it's not very often. Like you said, they suggested that there was a round lodged in the barrel somehow, which doesn't really make sense,
Right.
because there was nothing for it to really shoot out. But typically, when you look at guns that have that are designed for blanks or for like sim rounds, they're very specific to that, and that's why those rounds are usually colored. So you make sure you use the right ones. Still, blanks can kill you up close just from the force of it. If you're within, I don't remember, like 15 feet or so,
Right.
a blank could still kill you. But this is a weird one. I mean, as per usual with these kind of cases, there shouldn't be a situation where he is able to accidentally shoot someone. But I mean, that's what we see that happened. So where exactly did the problem start? We don't know yet, but they're still investigating. Like I said, it is
Yeah.
possible.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
It is possible that the gun was not cleaned properly and something like that happened. Though it's really hard to say until there's an investigation. I mean, even if you look at the case with Brandon Lee, there's a lot of speculation that it was done on purpose, because at the time there were a lot of people, especially from China, that were very angry about Bruce Lee's new school of Jun
Right.
Fan Guanghu. And so, like, he got a bad reputation in China for that. And there was allegedly behind his death, with a poisoning, and that they went after his son as well. I don't know if that's true, but that was a rumor that started right away, and it's been kind of pervasive in that kung fu school since then. And I think that's because of how unlikely it really is for this situation to happen. But um, here we are again. I guess this is like the third or fourth time that this has happened, as far as I know of, anyway.
Right.
But so the ultimately what happened was that they were on stage. And just generally filming when he fired. And Halyna Hutchins, who was 42, was transported to the hospital via helicopter, but she was pronounced dead by medical personnel at the University of New Mexico Hospital shortly later. And the director, Joel Souza, who's 48, was transported to Christus St. Vincent's Regional Medical Center by ambulance for his care. There's still not a lot of great details on him, but he's still alive, which is unfortunately better off than the DP was. So obviously Alec Baldwin was really upset about this, and he wasn't answering that many questions.
Of course.
Obviously he's just acting.
I mean, it's this is terrible. Like I said, this whole thing is absolutely terrible. I mean, like I said, there was no ill intent, I would believe. I mean, let's just say that. I mean, unless something else was going on the set that we don't know about, I don't know. What we know at face value right now is that this was an accident. A horrible accident. But I don't think that he was out here trying to shoot somebody. I think that this was an accident, which is absolutely terrible. I do have another clip I want to play really quick, so let's play that here.
Unfortunately, we begin with breaking news on a shooting in New Mexico involving actor Alec Baldwin. Sheriffs say that one person was killed and another was injured when Baldwin fired a prop gun on a movie set. He has not been charged with a crime. He was questioned after yesterday's shooting, and then he was released. The movie cinematographer, 42-year-old Halyna Hutchins, died in this incident. Director Joel Souza was treated at a hospital for unspecified injuries. Jonathan Bigliotti is following this story. Jonathan, we saw pictures of Alec Baldwin. He's very distraught, we hear. Good morning.
Of course he is.
And good morning to you. That's correct. A tragedy and still a mystery. According to Baldwin's spokesperson, the accident occurred when a prop gun with blanks misfired. Sheriffs confirmed the 63-year-old actor was the person who fired the gun. How a movie prop became a deadly weapon is still under investigation this morning.
This is the set of the Western Rust, Thursday afternoon, the scene of the incident marked off by police tape. Alec Baldwin is not only the star, but also the movie's co-producer. That morning, he posted this now deleted Instagram photo of himself in costume, the caption, "Back to in person at the office." Just hours later, he was questioned by sheriffs after shooting a prop gun that injured the film's director, Joel Souza, and killed director of photography, Halyna Hutchins. On Tuesday, Hutchins posted this video saying one of the perks of shooting a Western is you get to ride horses on your day off. Sheriffs say she was airlifted to a hospital where she was pronounced dead. Souza was also taken to a hospital. The circumstances of the incident are under investigation. According to movie set gun safety expert Larry Zanoff, a gun loaded with blanks has gunpowder, but should have no projectiles. Still, he says it's potentially dangerous to be within 20 feet of a prop gun when fired.
20.
Any of that smoke or powder or that muzzle flash that could affect anyone or anything. Again, we keep a standoff distance of 20 feet in order for there to be no effect on something that's in front of the muzzle.
In 1993, actor Brandon Lee was killed on a movie set when he was shot with a gun supposedly loaded with blanks. An autopsy later revealed he was shot by a bullet. And in 1984...
Oh, wow. He was actually shot by a bullet. That's very interesting. See what I'm saying? All the conspiracy theories and all that. You hear all different stories and all that, but he literally was shot with a bullet. Okay.
Actor John Eric Hexum died after he fired a prop Magnum 44 with blanks at his head in a mock game of Russian roulette.
We're always concerned with safety on a television and picture set, and that's why there's guidelines to follow.
And detectives are now investigating how firing the prop gun resulted in death and injury, and they're continuing to interview witnesses. Production, meanwhile, on the film has been halted. Gail?
All right, Jonathan, such a tragic accident. Thank you so much. My first thought when I heard it, number one, I thought I was reading it wrong at first when I read it. I thought about Halyna Hutchins, of course, and her family. Does she have a partner? Does she have children? It's so tragic. And the director. And then my heart goes out to Alec Baldwin. It clearly was an accident. You see him doubled over in pain. how you have to, now he has to live with this. It's just an awful situation for everybody involved in it.
Yeah, we know it's rare, but it does happen. The
Yeah.
unfortunate thing about this tragedy is that it could have been avoided.
Yeah. So, Ms. Hutchins had been a journalist in Europe, had made a career transition to film, seemed to have a bright future ahead. It is a big tragedy.
You know, it's these stories like where you just like this random acts of just randomness. I mean, this is I don't even know any other words to say. Like, this is just random, right? It's so bizarre that a freak accident. There we go. Like, there's a full-on freak accident for show that suddenly out of nowhere, these two people were hurt. And I feel, the other question I have in my mind is, did they exercise every bit of safety protocol when it came to using those guns? Or were they trying to get that dope shot, you know, like get extremely, like that extreme close-up type shot or something like that? Or I don't know. It's just so strange to me. And then how both of them were shot, how both of them were hit with this bullet. It's so strange. I don't know. David.
Yeah. I mean, as that video just pointed out, Brandon was actually shot with a bullet round that was somehow in the gun. Now, what you got with these prop guns, usually, I mean, they're real guns for the most part. It's the kind of the same thing you use for like sim rounds and training. However, they're usually marked specifically not for rounds. And if this was a prop gun, so it was from the prop room. So how did they? Who bought real rounds and even put that in there? That's there shouldn't have been any real rounds near that prop room. Because obviously real bullets are not going to be used for a prop in any way, unless you're just showing them in the background or something. So how did that happen in this case as well? Now, one thing that's possible with this one, since it's hard to say, okay, because if it was an actual bullet in there, it's very easy that it could travel through a person and hit another one. But if there was some sort of clogging malfunction, it would send out more shrapnel than anything, which could cause multiple injuries. But to me, it sounds like it had a full force behind it to have killed one person and hit another and injured them. So I think we might have a case similar to Brandon's here, where somebody slipped real ammunition near or into the prop gun. And someone was asking why he didn't stop the first time. He probably just didn't even know it. I mean, if you see the scene, he's not even really aiming, or at least the photographs they had of his previous scenes, which is pretty common in a lot of movies. You just see him hold the gun up before them. They don't actually line down the target because it's a movie. They're supposed to act quick, not like realistically. So that's usually what they do. And especially in Westerns, they don't aim. They just shoot from the hip a lot of times. So he probably didn't even know that there was a real round in there.
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, you know, and if there's anybody out here that's like literally thinking that he was in on this, you know, that he wanted to go and just kill somebody, I think that's very that's a reach. For real. That's a big reach to me. Because like I said, this is he may be, you know, some people may think of him as a jerk. You know, some people may think he's, he's Alec Baldwin, okay? But I don't think he's the kind of guy who wants to run around and shoot somebody, shoot a colleague, right? Shoot a co-creator, collaborator, right? Co-storyteller. You don't do something like that you don't do that for ish and giggles. And that is not Alec Baldwin, in my personal opinion. I think Alec Baldwin is badass in all the stuff that he does. But at the same time, this is not, like I said, this is not him. This was a freak accident for sure. And it's sad, you know, this is not something that you as an actor ever want to have happen. As an actor, you don't ever want to be on a set and you're holding a gun that you are trusting that the prop department made sure, like because there's the prop department and then there's the weapons department. So you assume that you're getting handed a gun with a live round, like a live blank round, and you're trusting that weapons expert, that weapons coordinator, right? That's the head of that weapons department, is taking good care of those guns, of those weapons before they hand anything to somebody. They're double checking. You see what I'm saying? They're checking everything twice. They're making sure everything's on point before they actually hand you the gun. So when somebody asks you, or when I see in here somebody asking, how could this happen? It's called laziness. It's straight up called laziness.
And
They
some
need to
people point
go.
this.
They need to go and ask. They need to look into the weapons department and whoever was the head of that weapons department, and who was the person that handed the gun to Alec Baldwin. David.
So someone mentioned this in chat. This is fairly breaking about 2 hours ago. But the prop masters union has they're not necessarily an individual working there, but the union that represents them is saying that the ground did in fact have a live round inside of it. And that was the single round that hit both of them. So it was, again, a case of a live round in the pistol for some reason when it shouldn't be anywhere near the location. Prop department is probably somehow responsible for this because I don't see how else there would be live ammunition to get mixed into that gun. It just doesn't make sense. You don't buy those from the same place or anything. I don't really know how that could happen unless somebody just didn't pay attention, or they were too lazy or something and just bought live rounds thinking they were fake. I don't really know, but
yeah,
this is a weird one, and it's exactly like the Brandon case of how did a bullet get into a prop gun that was otherwise loaded with prop rounds? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like I said, it's not computing for me. Like I said, it's just, how could you have a live round how could you have a live round? You see what I'm saying? How? So something is up, and it's not Alec Baldwin. Sorry, I just heard that he did say apparently he broke his silence as well. He did say, he apparently said something. I'm trying to find the video. If anyone has the video, please send it my way. That would be really appreciated. But apparently he did speak on this situation. So if somebody put in a live round in the gun, then they need to investigate that set and whoever was involved with that, or whoever was the last person to hold the gun, who is overseeing the props, the weapons and all that. All of those people need to be investigated, period. For this to happen is beyond me. So it was a live round, David.
Yeah.
It was a live round. Say that again. The prop union said what?
The master of the prop union was the one that said that. So it seems like there are unions involved in this, basically.
Whoa. Okay. Let me see. Because apparently I thought he had a video. I thought that maybe there was a video here. I'm trying to find it real quick. Sorry. Hold on.
Accidentally shoot.
Nah, I thought maybe there was a video. Tammy from the block. Tammy from the block said that he came out and said something. I see an article here from Variety. I'm gonna pull this up, and we're gonna do this. All right. So apparently he broke his silence. So let's pull this up right quick. Sorry, so we can all see this together. And this is 8 minutes old. So this is brand spanking new. This is fresh out the oven. All right. So Alec Baldwin on Halyna Hutchins' death. There are no words to convey my shock and sadness. So Alec Baldwin has released a statement on Twitter. Oh, so it's on Twitter regarding the shooting incident on the set of Rust, in which he discharged a prop firearm, killing the cinematographer and injuring the director as well. He says right here, there are no words to convey my shock and sadness regarding the tragic accident that took the life of Halyna Hutchins, a wife, mother, and deeply admired colleague of ours. I'm fully cooperating with the police investigation to address how this tragedy occurred, and I'm in touch with her husband, offering my support to him and his family. My heart is broken for her husband, their son, and all who knew and loved Halyna. So that's what he just recently put out on Twitter as of a few minutes ago. Thank you, Tammy from the block, for that heads up. But the fact that, okay, real quick, because I'm wondering where you received, where did you get where was the article that you saw where they said it was a live round?
Oh, let me bring it back up real quick. But they're also saying that it was a live round on, I think, CNN. I'll just have it up for you in a second. I gotta find it again real quick.
No worries, man. No worries. But like I said, but that's the thing. How does this happen? Right? So the person, whoever did this, right? Whoever did this, whoever was holding the gun, monitoring the guns, involved with the weapons department, they are responsible for this without a shadow of a doubt. I really don't think this has, I really don't think that this has anything to do with Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin was handed the gun. He pointed it where he needed it to be pointed. He fired the gun thinking confidently that it was a blank. Now, this is a man that's been on sets a million times. All right. So of course he's going to turn to the people that, the people that are the experts, and he's going to trust them, right? He's going to trust them. So if he gets handed the gun, he's like, hey, everybody, we got a gun on the set. There is one in the chamber. We're going to do this, blah, blah, blah. They hand him the gun. They're like, okay, we all know that this is a gun. Let's keep it safe. And that there is a blank cartridge in his mind, to his knowledge, in the chamber. Okay, action, bang. See what I'm saying? He's not sitting there thinking, oh, you know what I mean? I need a taste for blood. No. He's going, oh my God, what just happened? What? That's a freak accident, y'all. I just wanted to pull up this article because I want them to see it for themselves as well here. And
the article does say that it was a live round, like I just mentioned, but it was also, this is why I brought up Brandon again, because it was the only live round in the pistol, according to the prop person anyway. So, I mean, we have the exact same situation again, where one single bullet, live round, got mixed into all these blanks somehow. And I don't know. I don't know. It's not likely to be the bullet manufacturer that made that mistake. Just, I would think it would have to be somebody in the props department, or somebody like a intern or something that just didn't know better. Maybe it's hard to say.
Yeah, I don't know, man. And Industrial Arts, Denver, Colorado. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Netflix strike gone wrong. Oh man. Well, I don't know how. I don't know. Okay, I'm looking at this and it's saying the prop gun the actor Alec Baldwin fired on the set of the film Rust on Thursday, killing the director of photography Halyna Hutchins and injuring the director Joel Souza, contained a quote-unquote live round, a union covering prop masters told its members. So one question is, how does the union prop master, listen, right? The union prop master, how does he know that it was a live round? How does he know? Then it says in this quote here from, who is this? I don't know who said this, but anyway, it says a live single round was accidentally fired on the set by the principal actor, hitting both director of photography and the director of the movie as well. The email said, Local 44 has confirmed that the props, set decoration, special effects, and construction departments were staffed by New Mexico crew members. There were no Local 44 members on the call sheet. So you're telling me that maybe there were some people that don't know all the criteria, possibly? Some people that might be a little wet behind the ears? Mm-hmm. Some people that are not fully vetted, not veterans on the set? Because, you're trying to cut cost and you're going, hey, these kids, these guys, these people that are doing props, set decoration, special construction departments, they're all trying to, they're all trying to cut their teeth in this stuff. So we can get them for cheap, and we can save a couple $1 million. Whoops, somebody puts in a live round. Who in the hell? How does that accidentally happen? Let me read that one more time. The top of this right here. A live single round was accidentally fired on the set by the principal actor. How does that even happen? The thing that blows my mind is a live single round was accidentally fired. How was it accidentally even put in the gun in the first damn place? So somebody on the set was literally still very, very green, or just an idiot, and did not know the difference between blanks and a real damn bullet. And they put a bullet in that mother-loving gun and then handed it to a trusting actor. And then that actor pulled the trigger, thinking that everything would be fine. How does that happen, y'all? How does that happen? Like I said, my heart, I feel for this guy right now. I feel for Alec Baldwin. I don't care if you're a fan of him or not. This is still terrible, right? Still a terrible thing to have happen. David?
I imagine the prop union master got involved immediately because obviously the most likely accident would have came from the prop department because they're the one who buys the rounds and sets them up. So I wouldn't be surprised if the prop people on the set immediately reached out to contact, because that's part of what these unions do, is protect their workers, not just from, like industrial issues, but generally in anything, especially if they try to make this into a criminal charge, they might defend it as being negligence instead or something.
Right.
But it's very likely that the prop people contacted the union right away. And for most shows in Hollywood, they will only hire from union actors and workers. Otherwise, they get cut off by the unions. So for the most part, they should have had union workers as it was, just seemingly inexperienced ones.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, if you're going to sit there and you're going to bring in guys who are still a little green, or they're still, trying to, get the experience, get their sea legs, earn their stripes in a way, you're going to get them for cheaper. So you can get them for cheaper labor, but you're also paying for them to learn. Basically, they're going to have, there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, right? Maybe a learning handicap, because they might not be as properly vetted in that department that they have been hired into. But they're going, hey, it's an opportunity to add to my resume. I'm still getting paid and all that. Hey, it's not the greatest amount of money, but it's still something, and I can use this so I can get to the next job. So when you look at that, and you got people who are in the props department that are overseeing all the weapons, all of them, and they're still green, and they mistake a blank with an actual bullet, and they do that. Yeah, I mean, that's gonna happen. But I would expect that kind of story on an independent film shoot, right? Where it's low budget. But this is a movie where you have a A or B. I don't know what list he is on, but he's an A-B list actor. He's a prominent actor out here, probably getting paid the big bucks. So it's not like this is some small, $20,000 movie. This is a couple $1 million movie set. And they still were cutting corners so that they can maybe pay for Alec. You never know. You know what I'm saying?
It's not unusual for the people that hire from the unions, especially in Hollywood films, to get interns to do a lot of the busy work, like make them the gopher and all that kind of thing, because they don't usually get paid. So it's very possible. I mean, then this is across all of the Hollywood kind of union jobs. It is possible that it was just an intern and not actually a professionally trained person yet or anything. But it's still the fact that it's just one round that makes it really strange. Unless they just happened to pull one round from a second box and add it in there, It would have had to be specifically planted. Now, it is possible they used up one package of blanks and then moved on to the next box, and that turned out to be live ammunition. But why was it even there? They don't look the same. Like
I'm literally about to show everybody what blanks look like, and it looks pretty self-explanatory. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, David.
I don't remember.
Here they are. But here it is, though. Look. I mean, if you are not, okay, hold on. Let me get to the actual page here myself. I mean, some of these bullets, I mean, this is shooting blanks. That's a blank bullet right here. Right? They don't look like a bullet to me. But like I said, if you're not with it and you don't know what the heck is going on, see what I'm saying? These are blanks. See what I'm saying? These are blanks. But go ahead.
It's possible someone bought hollow points instead of blanks, thinking, because hollow points do have usually a red topper as well. Usually for fake rounds, they don't use the red topper, but you see it in some of these pictures here, so obviously they do. I mean, it's possible they bought hollow points instead, because they do usually, like I said, have a little bit of color rubber between the rounds, between the bullet, because it's supposed to split once it hits the target. Maybe that's what they did. They bought hollow points thinking that it looked like these, I guess. My hollow points are they are topped with green, like the one you just looked on. That's a set of blanks. So I guess maybe that's what they did, but that's just a guess, because I don't know of any gun store that sells both blanks and live rounds. Every time I've seen blanks, it's usually been ordered for training or something else. You don't just go to the store and buy them for the most part. So it still doesn't make sense to me, even if they did buy the hollow points, because they kind of look like these green rounds. It doesn't make sense to me how they would get them in the same location as the blanks.
Right. So that's why I'm saying they brought in some young, probably ill-prepared people to come in and do this job. They cut corners, and next thing you know, you brought in somebody that had no idea the difference between a bullet and a blank cartridge. And then this happens. And you let that person oversee all the bullets, all the guns, all the weapons. So God knows what other weapons that are on the set that are being used that are filled with actual bullets right now on that set. Like I said, for me, it goes down to the root. As soon as something like that happens, God, this is like the weirdest, freakish accident I've ever heard in my whole entire life. But if this was to ever happen again, I'd be going and I'd be blaming the person who is in charge of the weapons to begin with. Those are the people I'd be investigating. That whole department, I'd be investigating into them, putting the blame on them, period. Because it's in their hands. It's their responsibility. It's not like I'm hoping it wasn't the case that Alec Baldwin just walked over to a prop table and just picked up a gun and just started throwing in cartridges, thinking that, putting in bullets, thinking that they're blank cartridges or something like that. I would hope that wouldn't be the case. I hope that's not the case, because other shows, other sets take those weapons very seriously. I mean, even down to knives and all that. Real talk. They'll sit there and go, "We got a knife on set," just letting everybody know. I mean, they're very serious about this stuff. So how can you literally give a man a gun with a bullet in it and nobody knows how the bullet got in there? No, bruh. It goes down to the department that's involved handling the weapons themselves. So that's who they need to start investigating in. Like I said, again, it's time to wrap it up. But like I said, again, our hearts and thoughts go out to Halyna's family, and our prayers go out to Joel Souza, the director of this film that has been injured during this, and they haven't said how badly been wounded or anything. So hopefully hopefully they'll get down to this. You get down to the bottom of this and find out what really went down and bring those people to justice, because that shouldn't have happened. I don't think Alec Baldwin should be, in trouble, in my personal opinion. But what kind of trouble are we looking at for Alec Baldwin? That's the other question. Will he be seeing? Will he be catching a case, right? Or no?
I just sent you an image. I was going to post in Discord, but I just sent you an
Oh,
image
go
of the hollow points that I have. It's the same, so you can see how close they do if you don't know what you're looking for. Because the point should only be on a hollow point. It should be flat if it's a sim, or flat if it's a sim or fake or blank. I mean, but you can see this does have kind of that rubber tip on there that you see with the blanks. The difference once again is that blanks are flat. And hollow points, at least all the ones I've seen, usually have a little green or red point like this.
Yeah, somebody was definitely not thinking right when it came to this. When it came to this whole thing, I'm sorry, I'm just zooming it in so you guys can see it as well. But that's a hollow point. That's not a blank. That's a hollow point. So this, like I said, this whole thing just doesn't make any sense to me. How did that happen? How did he get, but like I said, it goes down to the root. It goes down to the person who is involved and responsible for those particular weapons. And if there was a coordinator, that is the person that messed all this up, that made this whole thing happen.
PASCAL, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.